Hey my people, welcome back. In my last video, I spoke about the categories of art, and I really forgot to mention that there's a lot of crossover between the categories. It's not such a hardline thing, just something worth considering, and if you haven't seen the video yet, you can go ahead and check it out and let me know what you think. In today's video, I want to talk about something a little different, and it has to do with Impressionism and how most people tend to confuse it with something completely different. So if I ask you to think of Impressionism, most people might think about Monet, the loose brushstrokes, the water lilies, soft edges, color. I think people tend to conclude that Impressionism means a painting that's loosely painted. But would you believe me if I told you it's not? So what most people think of as Impressionism is actually a lot closer to Expressionism. And that confusion actually changes the way that we see a lot of paintings in museums and galleries and wherever else. So for me, back in the day, Impressionism was basically anything that had a lot of loose brushstrokes and soft edges. But actually, I had no framework for distinguishing between painters who were trying to actually capture things as they appear versus painters who were using brushstrokes to stylize or express their emotions. Well, what is Expressionism, you might ask? Basically, Expressionism prioritizes the inner experience of the painter over the truthful representation of nature. So the brushstroke is ultimately about the artist's emotion, the artist's gesture, or their own catharsis. And at the end of the day, how the painting looks is secondary to how the painter actually felt. Okay, so what's Impressionism? True Impressionism is about painting the visual impression of nature as it actually appears to the eye. So it's really about a deep fidelity and commitment to the way things look and not about how we feel. The broken color technique that Monet and the French Impressionists used was not decorative. It was an attempt to achieve the full luminosity of nature. So they were actually solving a technical problem. They weren't making a stylistic choice. Where Monet fell short was that he focused so intensely on achieving the look of nature through color that his drawing and his edge quality really suffered. And I think this is something that he even admitted towards the end of his life that he really regretted. And the rest of the French Impressionists, Pissarro, Renoir, none of them had the academic training equivalent to those artists of the French Academy. So we could say that they gained something really extraordinary in color, but they lost something pretty fundamental in structure. And the painters who actually solved this problem were across the pond in America, and they were the Boston School painters. They were academically trained to the fullest level, but they also had opportunities to paint alongside Monet. They were able to draw edges accurately in order to capture gesture and proportion while retaining the atmosphere, projective effects, and full color that Monet was after. So the next time you're standing in front of a painting and you're thinking Impressionism, ask yourself, was the painter trying to capture things as they appear, or were they trying to express how they felt? That distinction is really going to change everything about how you see and experience the painting. Hey, thanks so much for watching. I really hope this content has been fruitful in some way. Please let me know your thoughts, ideas, comments, questions, and I'll see you in the next one.